What's up, everybody? This is MANNY LAGUNES back with another episode of The Story of here on Bouey Films. You know what the fuck going on. Subscribe for me, hit that like button, give us a couple comments down below so this can be another great episode. Like I said, you have tuned into The Story of Will Baker-Sledd. Joining me here with that fresh M&M shirt is my boy Will Baker. What's going on, Will?
What's up, y'all? Just making it in from work.
Well, glad you could be here. Glad you could join us. It is your season. It is The Story of Will Baker. So we're gonna get into that. But before we get started, Will, I got a question, man. Is it safe to say it is now winter? Are we officially into winter season?
Not in LA.
Not in LA. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what.
93 degrees today here.
See, jealous. The reason I'm asking that though is because it's getting a little chilly in Michigan. It's getting a little chilly. It is now winter season.
It snowed in Michigan today.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to figure out is how my co-host Michael Bouey is still stanking like that in wintertime. Michael, would you care to join us? Would you care to tell us why? How?
You know, I don't know why we do this all the time, but, you know, I'm happy to say that I invested some money in one of those chairs. You know, the chairs that you can go, like, lift it up and down. I
don't do this.
That way you and I can kind of look eye to eye at the same time.
No.
So, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. We're not even going to talk about stanking because it's looking like your attitude stanks. And I'm sure your breath is going to be stinking after whatever you're drinking. But anyway, we're going to jump right into it. Will, he almost spit up his sound. Well, this is going to be an exciting episode. We're already starting off with a bang. Will Baker, thanks for being here. How are you today?
I'm all right. A little tired.
That's good. Well, we learned a lot about Harbor Benton and where to stay away from in terms of all the cities inside of Michigan last episode, and now we are going to jump into some newer things.
It's Benton Harbor.
What did I say?
Harbor Benton.
You know what? Let's not try and correct me on here because then people are going to get mad and then they're going to come for me. I am in Detroit, and I already feel scared hearing about Benton Harbor. So I'm not even trying to. Let's just edit that out. That's what we'll do.
They're definitely gonna come for you.
Oh, fuck that. Okay, so so you can't fuck up Detroit, but you can definitely fuck up Harbor Benton Harbor. All right. So what we're looking at that I kind of want to talk about, because I said we were going to revisit it, dancing. So this dance crew that you have, tell me a little bit more about it.
So, dance crew I had in high school, I actually had several. It's kind of like a story of Destiny's Child, kind of. So the very first crew I had, it was called Squad 4. It started off with 4 of us. After that crew, I created another dance crew called, I think this one was called Devastated Players or some shit like that. Then it turned into Deja Vu. Then it turned into Quiet Storm, which was the team, like the all-star high school team of mine that actually went on to do bigger and better things than the start of me dancing.
Which one was the one that never lost a talent show?
All of them. We never lost. I've never lost a high school talent show.
Bitch, you lucky I didn't go to your high school, but keep going.
You lucky you didn't go to our high school.
Well, I ain't going nowhere in Benton Harbor. Did I say it right? Okay.
So my very last crew in high school was called Quiet Storm. That was the team that was considered to be the pioneer of dance in our hometown. The team to beat, the team to, if I may brag and boast, the team to copy and create. I don't even want to say this, but there was a lot of other people after us that tried to be and do what we had done and never did, still to this day.
So this was like the Benton Harbor step up version.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like step up.
Yeah. So
what no
kind of
shade at all. It's just throughout my life as a dancer, from high school through my professional dance career, we're still talked about negatively and positively.
Damn. What kind of negative things can they say about y'all?
Just something we'll probably get into, just the success I've had as a professional dancer and leaving my hometown and those feeling like I didn't give back to my community, or I should have did more with trying to bring more people into the spotlight or limelight with me. Like, it was a lot said, and some of it I did address. Some of it I didn't.
Well, if you want to address some of it, now is the time, because this is the story of Will Baker-Sledd. Now, when you say people,
I won't let this moment be for that.
Okay. Well, I respect that. But when you talk about putting other people in the spotlight, I mean, in Detroit, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of Detroit local rappers who are always feeling like they should get the spotlight over whoever does make it out the city. Was that the case in Benton Harbor? I mean, you made it out. So is that what you mean?
Yeah, I feel like everyone who makes it out, whether you're just living a regular life and just wanted something better for yourself, I feel like a lot of us are looked at as we think we're better than those from home, just because we chose to do something different or live somewhere different. Mind you, we had the same opportunities as you had. You just chose to stay home or do something else. So I never understood why we have to be targeted.
I've never understood that in the first place, me being an entertainer as well, why it's frowned upon to kind of want to try and grow to, sorry when I said grow, Manny, but to grow to like success in the world, and people just to be jealous of that. It amazes me why that's the case. So and there's so much talent, and I've said it just in terms of Detroit, that there's just so much overlooked talent in Detroit, and I already know that there's so much overlooked talent in the world. So when I look at the fact that you said that you're a dancer and that you won all these talent shows because I didn't go to high school there, my question to you is, were there other like family members that were also dancers? Did that talent of dancing kind of extend throughout your family, or if not even dancing, anything?
So yeah, in my family, they are very musically inclined and dancers. So on my mother's side, my grandfather, my uncles, my aunts, and my mom danced, not professionally, but they had the moves. And to this day, which you also saw at the wedding, you saw how a lot of the adults that were out there dancing, that was my family. What started me to dance was my sister's dad, who raised me. He had 3 other daughters. One name was Chrissy. She had a dance crew with the same reputation as my high school dance crew. They were the team that was there winning everything. She had a group called Smooth Liquor. That was the name of their dance crew. Each one of them had a name of an alcohol. She danced all her life as well. She passed away at the young age of 17. Sadly, she was killed.
In Benton Harbor?
In Benton Harbor.
Would there be anywhere else, Manny? That was a dumb question.
Well, Michael, first of all, don't take that tone with me. Second of all, Will, what is that about, man? She passed away. She was killed? Like, what the?
Well, she was just in the mix of a relationship with someone that she shouldn't have been with, and she was hired to be killed, basically. Long story short.
That's fucking crazy.
So that story, moving forward a little bit, when I moved to Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti area, I went to the community college there, and I actually did a production of the story of my sister and how I started dancing because of her.
That's in Washtenaw Community College.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's crazy. I mean, again, going back though, it's like listening to a step up movie. You have a successful dance career, your sister is killed. You just mentioned it was almost like a job, you know what I'm saying, to get her killed. It's kind of crazy to me. Is this on particular, how do I say this? Is this something that is really common in Benton Harbor? Stories like yours?
Yeah. Everybody has some kind of story. As I said in episode 1, it was easy for especially Black men to get caught up in foolery because of the fact that we didn't have a lot of outlets to distract us from doing dumb stuff. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have a lot of positive male role models. In my family, though, especially on my mother's side, a lot of my uncles were in the military. So they weren't around as often when I was growing up. But when they did come home, they were that positive reflection of a successful Black man for me, even though they weren't there. As far as my raising process, they were ones that I did look up to. Aside from having my sister's dad there as well, even though he had the drug life and the infidelity and being violent to my mom, he still was very family oriented and took me around his family, and his family accepted me. And I grew up with my grandma and grandpa, which technically wasn't my biological grandma and grandpa, but it was his mom and dad. But I did have my mother's side of the family too, right, for that family support as well. So going back to the original question, but yeah, it was challenging for one to stay on a positive road coming from Benton Harbor.
I know how, somebody that's inspiring to you, the loss of somebody can be, troublesome. How did that affect you in your life, losing her? How did your life change after that?
So it happened, I had to be about 7 or 8 years old, and maybe older than that, but we weren't really that close because, again, she was the daughter of another woman that wasn't with my mom's boyfriend, which was my sister's dad at the time. So we had a relationship because they would come around to visit their dad, who was my sister's dad. And me knowing that she was a dancer and being inspired by that, that was kind of from a distance.
And with all the success that your dance crews had, what led? I mean, you were naming all the different variations or names under the dance group. What was that last one, and what caused that dance group not to be in existence anymore? That it broke up, or that it just everyone went their own ways? Like, what happened with that last variation?
Me being the leader of it, I graduated high school and went to college. So after that, they attempted to continue it going, but at the same time, they kind of broke off and did their own thing. I was a senior in the group. I would leave first, even though I was the one that put it together and the main choreographer, but everyone else was graduating as well 1 year or 2 years after me. So it kind of just died off. But that also led into the crew I created in college, because some of them were part of that crew too.
But okay, so it sounds to me like you were a leader from birth, right? From everything you told us from the first episode up until now, it seems like you were a leader from birth. What I want to know is sort of, your sister was also into dancing. You said she was mixed up with some wrong folk, and it's fair, everybody's life is as difficult as our own. But is there anything maybe that you could have done to sort of keep her on the path that you chose of dance, entertainment, and maybe keep her away from what you already knew was bullshit?
No, I was too young. I didn't even know any of it was going on until she was already gone. I didn't know the story of who she was dating and that it was somebody she shouldn't have been with or nothing. I didn't really know her personal life like that.
Were those individuals ever caught?
Yeah.
Prosecuted?
Yeah.
Well, that's good news, at least, to hear about that. It's still sad that,
But it was like maybe 15 years after the fact.
The people weren't caught and arrested until 15 years after her murder?
Yep.
Why did it take so long?
Because they had no idea who had done it.
And what was the evidence that they found that was able to solidify that? Do you know?
I don't know. I heard stories about somebody being in prison or in jail at the time and talking about it amongst other inmates. Mm-hmm. And that's how it came out as far as context clues of who had done it. But it's a lot of hearsay is surrounded around Benton Harbor as well, too. And it's like, I don't want to get on here and like down my city because I love Benton Harbor. I'm a product of my hometown. There's a lot of successful, smart, talented people that come from there and that are still there as well. But it can be a very troublesome place if you're not focused. In a trap.
Absolutely. It's almost, again, first episode, man, you made that comparison. Benton Harbor compared to Detroit. Because in the city, it's almost the same exact way. The police in Detroit, they're not doing any good police work. It's always somebody, you know what I'm saying, snitching or giving people up or pointing the finger. And the way it sounds like it's the same way in Benton Harbor. Again, it's not anybody that we want to sort of keep in secret, but it's just terrible how people would just take that jealousy and use it to take somebody that's doing something with their life, from their families, like your sister. Switching gears a little bit here, though, you mentioned that you were graduating and you went on to college. Where did you go to college? Did you stay in Benton Harbor, or you made a mention about Washtenaw Community?
So I went to Florida A&M University first, in Tallahassee, on a music scholarship. So going back a little bit too, with the dance thing, two of my uncles, one on my dad's side, one on my mom's side, they were also drum majors of our high school band during their high school years. And on my dad's side, a lot of my uncles are musically inclined and play musical instruments. So aside from me being drum major, I did play 4 instruments: flute, piccolo, clarinet, alto, sax. So when I went to FAMU, I majored in music, minor in computer information systems. I also was a Bill and Melinda Gates Millennium Scholar. So,
I don't know what that is.
Even though that,
What is a Bill and Linda Gates?
It's the scholarship that Bill Gates gives out every year to, I think it's 500, maybe 1,000 people a year. And at my high school, me and another individual, her name is Demita. Her and I were the first 2 ever from our hometown to get it. And they've been giving it to 2 people at our high school since her and I.
That's what's up. You paved the way, man. So in a sense, yeah, go ahead.
So I went to Florida A&M University, and during my time there, it was just culture shock in a good way, though. I definitely wasn't focused as I was in high school. I graduated 4th in my class in high school, only male in the top 10% of my class as well. Going to a HBCU, it is definitely a distraction if you're not focused on the right stuff. So I was in marching band, and at HBCUs, marching band is like the life of the school. Yeah. So I allowed that to distract me from my studies as well. And I didn't do the best as far as grades, but the school also ended up losing their accreditation as well while I was there, which caused me to come back to Michigan. after
So
2 years.
why did you choose an HBCU though? Because that scholarship isn't only for HBCUs. Why did you
Right.
choose to
It's
go there?
for anywhere in the world that you want to go, but it does not cover any major that's in the arts. It had to
Okay.
be any math or science majors.
So you went strictly there because you wanted to pursue music, or
Yeah, music education.
No.
sure, sure.
And their marching band and music program is what attracted me there. So that's why it was the school of choice for me.
Let me ask this, just because we've talked so much about dance, and for me, I've always been a mentor and tried to inspire other people about following their dreams, but I just want to backtrack to that beginning childhood. Has dance always been the ultimate dream and passion? Was there something before that, and if so, what? And why did that kind of filter away?
So it was always dance. To be honest, I hid the fact that I love dance and could dance, because coming from a place like Benton Harbor, first, you don't really see many people trying to pursue dance, and then you don't see men dancing.
No.
So I felt as if I did expose that side of me, I would possibly be picked on or bullied
Were
or
you?
something of that sort.
Were you?
I wasn't, not to my face.
And so,
Yeah,
if that was
right.
the dream when you were younger, what is the dream for when you get older? What does that success look like? What does that picture look like? What do you want to obtain? Where do you want to be?
So when it comes to dance, I've always wanted to be a performer or a choreographer, or also own my dance company or studio. And honestly, I did do all of that within my lifetime.
No, nothing to do with the music. I mean, it's very different from a dance studio to maybe a recording studio. You play a lot of instruments.
Mm-hmm. So with
Could
the
that?
music, it was mainly because going into college with to obtain a dance degree, first of all, you do have to have some type of professional training, and that wasn't offered in Benton Harbor. We didn't have any ballet, modern, jazz, tap classes. We didn't even have an official dance or hip hop dance class. Everything we knew is because we mocked what we saw on BET, or it was just in you already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't have BET when Michael was growing up, so he might not know what that is.
I don't know how you would
But
know that when you were watching Telemundo, but I'm sure that's neither here nor there.
yeah. So aside from all the hip hop dancing and everything, what other things? Because some of the instruments you mentioned that you can play, I don't even know what those instruments are. Can you dance other rhythms of like salsa and other kinds of
He only
things?
Yeah,
knows the
so
tambourine, so Manny only knows the tambourine.
Let
So
him
he's
talk,
not
Michael.
familiar with some of the other
This is
instruments.
Will's story. This is
I know.
Will's
I was
story.
just explaining to the audience what you only know, so that he can kind of explain some of those other ones. Go ahead, Will. Sorry.
All right.
so after I came back to Michigan from FAMU, my family had moved from Benton Harbor to Grand Rapids, which is an hour west. No, it's actually an hour
Yeah.
northeast of Benton Harbor. So I moved back there for a few months before applying to a community college in Ann Arbor, because the target was to get into University of Michigan now. Um, Trying to transfer to University of Michigan from a HBCU that wasn't accredited, they were like, "Fuck you! How dare you even attempt to apply here
Damn.
from a historically black college or university with unaccredited credits?"
Yeah.
So that caused me to pretty much start over. So I started off at the community college in Ann Arbor under a program that not really guaranteed me intro into University of Michigan, but it helped bridge the gap if you had the grades and all of that, which that did happen for me. But during that community college years was when I first started my collegiate dance crew with 4 other people, which was called Patchwork Dance Troupe. That's also the first time I stepped in ballet class at the age of 24. So I took my first professional dance class at 24. And I also obtained a dance degree out of all of this too. And Patchwork, which also transitioned into Patchwork Dance Company, we performed everywhere, all over Metro Detroit area. Now we did have some losses this time because there were some really good dance crews from the Metro Detroit area. But we competed in a lot of things throughout the Midwest, the South, the East Coast. We were actually on 106 in Park and competed. We've done World of Dance competitions, some of the most major competitions within our region as well. So, and I led that company for 9 years before moving here to LA.
Why not get the crew back together and do something like So You Think You Can Dance or America's Got Talent or something to that nature? I mean, to be that good and to bring noticeability to Benton Harbor by going on one of those shows and winning, or even going far. I mean, that not only helps your career, but it just, I think, elevates what was a greatness that kind of grew apart.
Yeah, well, in the crew Patchwork, a lot of the people that was in that high school crew, Quiet Storm, they were also part of Patchwork too.
Oh, so they made it out themselves as well.
Yeah.
Or did you carry the crew? It's okay.
I was a main choreographer. I pretty much choreographed like 95% of the content over the 9 years.
Damn, 9 years.
Yeah.
I want to.
That's a.
Sorry, no, go ahead. Hit your point, and I'll go with my question.
I was gonna say that's a resume. 9 years, because you've been dancing your whole life, but for you to be competing at a, higher level, right? It's amazing to me, especially with your record. Me personally, I'm still undefeated when it comes to basketball. I played in the church league for a long time. I've played against Michael various times, undefeated. What I want to talk a little bit before Michael gets sort of sidetracked is what about your like Michael said, your end goal. Where was that during college? You said you wanted to do a dance studio, maybe start your own, different groups, and you did that during college. But after college, was that something liable? Did that become a reality, or is that something you don't even want to talk about just yet?
It's honestly still a dream of mine, and it's kind of still in the progress and still in process as far as owning my own company. The company I had back in Ypsilanti, Ann Arbor, that was kind of like the beginning stages of knowing what it takes. And now I'm at a point where I know what I need to do to legally and officially make that happen.
Sure, you might be the Jabberwockies of Benton Harbor. Who knows? I mean,
but no, as far as being a performer, those days are over for me. But a choreographer, yeah, and a director of a studio, yes, for sure.
Why are the days of performing over?
I'm fucking 37 and my bones and body don't move the same. Everyone knows in the professional dance world that technically your dance career is over, for men at least, at like 27.
It's just like professional athletes.
I don't know. Sorry to cut you off. I hear that, and like I said, I'm somebody that mentors and aspires, but I don't feel like it's over, and I don't believe in that statistic. And because I'm somebody who avidly watches America's Got Talent. I've auditioned for America's Got Talent twice, once inside of Detroit and once in Chicago. So I watch the show, I watch clips all the time. And there was a couple that was on there, or maybe they were even friends. The woman was like 90 years old. And the man was maybe like in his 80s. And if, off camera, I'll probably send you the clip if I can find it again. But they went on there and they were moving like they were 20. And they were killing it and got four judges to say, yes, you're going to Hollywood. And I don't know how much further they went. They didn't win, but still at the same point, they were fucking good. They moved so well. I mean, he was like spinning around the body, and
I've actually seen it. I've seen it before.
They were
but,
amazing.
But for me, it's not more so of like giving up on being a performer, because I can still hang with the best of them if I wanted to.
Except me.
It's just when it comes to being in the entertainment industry, which you also know, sometimes you do get tired of not having the stability as far as income and gigs and things like that. And then when you're a person like me, to toot my own horn, I feel like I'm good at a lot of things. And when I moved to LA, I got used to having that consistent paycheck, and dance became something that I still love, but it wasn't the number one priority anymore. So I don't mind going into dance still as a choreographer or mentor, as far as building someone else up, training them as well to be that top performer. But as a dancer, for me, it's never really been about trying to be the top performer or top dancer. I love the sense of community when I was dancing. I love having the crew and competing with other people. But I've also feel like I fulfilled the dream and what I wanted to do as far as dance, to where I was fine with doing something else and still tapping into dance and doing dance when I felt like it.
You know, I'm going to hit this last point in terms of inspiration to you, because I see you wearing that shirt that says Eminem, and quite honestly, regardless of what age he made it, if he would have just been comfortable as a server at Chili's and never really pushed forward, we won't have Eminem. And to be close to 50 and him out here still killing the fucking game. Well, granted, he doesn't have to dance and hurt his bones, but you know, there's a negative mentality where it's like when you get so old, you can't do it anymore. And he's living proof amongst so many other people that you can do it regardless of your age. And I just say that to you because I went to your wedding. And number one, and I meant to tell you this, and I'll say it on the story of, I've been to many weddings, but that was the livest fucking wedding I've ever been to in my entire life, hands down.
Thank you.
I wasn't invited.
You were probably on the small list, the short list of people that he was gonna second. Anyway, it was definitely one of the best weddings I've ever been to in my entire life. And to say that, I just want to say that I've learned so much about you just inside these 2 episodes, and I've known you and you pushing your career, and I just feel like for as good as what you are, not better than me, but for as good as what you are, you should definitely push regardless of age for what you want, and don't let other things or the comfortability of making money slow you down, because then one day it won't be Eminem that I see on the shirt, it'll be Will Baker-Sledd.
Okay. So, but to come back with you on that, I haven't given it up all the way. I'm still working on the business of owning my own studio. So that was the ultimate dream for dance anyway. But to get to that point, you're supposed to have the experience of performing, teaching, to know how to run the business. Okay. So I'm not done.
All right. Well, I have one last kind of point and question that I want to cover and talk on, that we kind of touched on a little bit, and that was in regards to your biological father. I know that we touched on him a little bit. When did he come into the picture? Did he come into the picture, and how?
16, 17 years old. It was kind of me constantly showing up at his home and taking the initiative to bridge the gap between him and I, and just wanting that presence there. I did. And it also because I started to meet family on my dad's side, and it wasn't through him. I started finding out who my brothers were, and we had been going to the same schools, not knowing that we were brothers, and just wanting to put the pieces together. So I remember a time where I did go to his home and introduced myself, and we talked, and the rest is history. Like from that time, there was still distance in between each visit, every connection, but we've gotten to a point even up to today where we finally do have a bond in a relationship.
Awesome.
He was actually, you saw my biological dad at my wedding.
Well, I saw a lot of people there, and I was more or less terrified knowing that I was in Benton Harbor. So I wasn't really paying attention to people at the wedding. I was always looking over my shoulder.
So in the ceremony portion where my parents came up to pour the sand with us, that was my biological father.
Okay, I do remember him then.
Now I want to. This is my last topic. I'll let Michael close it out after this. Looking at me now, if there's one thing, you know, there's a lot of things actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, but if there's one thing, you know, Black people and Mexican people share is we have rhythm. You know what I'm saying? We have rhythm. Looking at me now, you know, and don't give me that face, Michael. I'm not gonna take that shit from you. I'll take it from Will because I know he's real, but not you, Michael. You know, looking at me now, does it look like I could have had? Because I'm still playing ball. I'm still a top level athlete. You know, but does it look like I could have been a dancer? You know, I was in better shape in high school, but does it look like I could have done something with dancing? I have a little rhythm. Michael, he's got 2 left feet. But me, myself, does it look like I could have been a dancer? I got the swagger, you know. What do you think?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. You're the professional. I'm not a, you know.
Well,
Michael,
to be honest, in this day and age, you would be surprised at the people that know how to dance.
God damn it. That's not what I wanted to hear, Will. No, that's not what I wanted to hear.
So maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
All right.
Well, I appreciate your last question, Manny, but I will just add to that and say that maybe dancing is not inside of the cards for you. You should look into maybe baseball. I hear that they're hiring for shortstops, and just quite possibly you could get in. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to this exciting episode. It has been a blessing to learn so much about your life and your story, Will. You have said it, I have said it. We all have a story. Yours is so interesting. I can't wait to move forward and learn more about it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us. If you guys are interested in being a guest, please hit us up inside the comments. Let us know. Hopefully we can get you guys on. For everybody else that's tuning in, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell, do all that jazz, and let us know what you guys thought. And as always, we will see you guys next week.